Terence, was it a shock what you watched?
No, not at all. I always stated that the better man was going to win today, and Dubois was the better man. He capitalized on Joshua's faults, and he won the fight.
Big man, crazy result, right?
It was a great fight. I think Joshua, got overconfident.
Yeah.
He hurt him. He hurt him with a shot and went for the kill, but he forgot about his defense and forgot, about the fundamentals.
What would you like to see each do? Where does Joshua go from here, bud? Where does Dubois go from here?
I don't know.
Cut it off. Round one, obviously Joshua floored in that first round. Your thoughts on that?
Hey, he came to fight, and you can see it in his eyes. He wasn't leaving out the ring without that victory.
Can Joshua come back from this?
I don't know. Joshua been in a lot of wars. He fought a lot of great fighters. I think he can, but it's going to be tough because he got a lot of wear and tear on his body coming into this fight.
It's heavyweight boxing, boys. It happens. You get knocked spark out. It could have been me, it could have been you, it could have been anybody. In the heavyweight division, it's what happens. One punch away from being smashed, knocked out.
What went wrong, you feel, with the game plan that Joshua had in that
I
first
think
round?
what went wrong is what always goes wrong in heavyweight boxing. Good right hand on the end of the chin. And that was it.
Can he come back from this, Tyson?
I don't know. Listen, it's up to the man and whatever he wants to do. If he's got a good ambition to come back again and do what he's got to do, I don't know. Listen, he'll have to make his own decisions. He's a big boy, isn't he?
What did you really think? You didn't give us your opinion earlier, but generally, heart of hearts, what did you think was going to happen tonight?
I thought it was a 50-50 fight. Yeah. God's honest truth.
Got belief in him, and I said from the beginning the tactics of this fight was to put the other guy on the back foot. And it was about the back. It was going to be about who can control the fight with a jab. Daniel did that from the first bell, and that was the key to it. And as I said, plenty of interviews with him, I said the fighter that goes on the back foot will get beat.
Yeah, you did say who lands the first shot, and Daniel really was the boss from the first round for him.
He was, but he had to enter. He had to go and stamp his authority on the fight, and that's what he did. He stamped his authority.
Dillian, did that surprise you that tonight?
No, I'm not surprised. Heavyweight boxing, man.
What do you make of Daniel Dubois and how he's got on the past few years? He's really sort of...
Done really good. Just Becky, thank you so much.
Right. Pick this back up. Obviously, Dubois has been through a lot in his career. When you see a story like this, obviously you've been through your ups and downs as well. Just heavyweight boxing. None of this surprise you tonight at all?
No. It's heavyweight boxing. You got two guys who can punch. They're massive punches. So, these things can happen.
Yeah.
What do you think of the fight, bro?
Man, it's a boxing. It's the boxing game. It's the fight game. It's the heavyweight division. Anything can happen.
What went wrong for AJ, man?
Man, one punch can change the whole night.
Yeah. Just overall, how'd you feel Dubois fought in there?
He fought a good fight. He won.
Yeah.
He knocked him out when he was hurt, so he fought a good fight.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Right? What went wrong for
Just
AJ,
when I
in your
fought.
opinion?
I said to Joe Cordine, the next way I said he needs to throw some backhands. He threw a backhand, and then the minute the fight was over, unbelievable.
Wow. So, in your opinion, where does AJ go from here, Ricky? Where do you want to
I'd like to see him retire as a friend.
Yeah?
I don't want to, he's been a two-time world champion. He's done the country proud. I'd like to see him hang his gloves up and enjoy his retirement.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was insane, man. Once it got caught, mate, from the early doors, we said whoever learned the first punch, they're going to win. And he done that, mate. And he done that. And he done it well.
Connor, what'd you think?
Crazy.
Connor, my guy.
Yes, bro. Wild, man.
What went wrong for AJ?
I'm not sure I saying for him and his team to find out, but that was wild.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But listen, when you got big punches in there, anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them things, man. It's crazy.
Where does AJ go from here?
Congrats, bro.
Does he beat Usyk in a rematch? Does he beat Fury if they were to fight?
Wait, Dubois fought Usyk?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the low
body
blow.
punch,
The low blow. Yeah. It's the heavyweight division, man. You guys can all fight each other, beat each other. One can beat one, another one can't beat. It's just.
I'm lost for words. Daniel said he was going to knock him out in the 6th round. He did it in the 5th. And I'm so happy because I want to go to bed.
Stan, you said it was... Dan, you said it was your son. You said it was your son's destiny. This.
This is his destiny. That's why we came out with Daniel in the lion's den. That's why we came out with Daniel in the lion's den. I'm a great believer. I'm a great believer. I've got a lot of faith. And I knew tonight was Daniel's night.
He was so
because
dominant.
everyone was saying he was going to get knocked out. And now they all got quiet and left the venue in 10 seconds.
You know what? On that note, I'll let you finish. Yeah. Congratulations, yeah?
Opponent, but credit to him and his team. We rolled the dice at success and we come up short. But I want to say, everyone in Wembley, I appreciate you coming out this evening. You know I'm pissed. You know I'm ready to kick off in the ring, but I'm going to keep my cool and keep very professional and give the respect to my opponent.
I'm sure he'll exercise that rematch clause. I mean, I think that's a given, but he'll need a rest. And it's a dangerous fight. This guy's growing in confidence all the time. But he'll believe he can hurt Dubois. He'll believe he can beat him. But full credit to Daniel Dubois. He deserves all the credit tonight. It was a great performance from Daniel.
You know, behind the scenes, the work with my dad, you know, all my family and, you know, my strong team here, they've helped me get through this. So God bless you all, man.
Were you impressed with Daniel Dubois?
Sorry?
Were you impressed with Daniel Dubois tonight? Good performance?
Yes, good performance.
How much are you looking forward to Tyson Fury fight in December?
I don't think about it because I think only my prepare. My wife, my child.
Did you speak to Tyson tonight?
The highly anticipated heavyweight clash between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois has come to an electrifying conclusion. The outcome, hotly debated by the boxing community, has left everyone on the edge of their seats. Furthermore, pro boxer Chris Eubank Jr. believed Dubois got robbed in the Alexander Usyk bout, stating that the body shot was legit. He warned Joshua to stay sharp because Dubois had the power to flip the script with one punch. Even though AJ was the favorite, Eubank thought Dubois was a threat if given any opening.
That's right. You know, I think that I think he beat Usyk. I think he should have got that title. I mean, that body shot wasn't low in my opinion. So really, he should have got that. He should have beaten him. It didn't happen for him, but you know, he's a big boy. He's strong. He can hit. So yeah, obviously AJ, regardless of his experience, has to stay on his, you know, on his P's and Q's at all times. Otherwise, you know, there's going to be a big upset.
And if we can get a quick prediction from you, what are you expecting?
AJ, I think he's going to be looking for a knockout. I can kind of sense some bad blood, between them. I think he's going to want to go out there and teach him a lesson. So I'd say, you know, AJ stoppage, maybe mid-rounds.
Eubank Jr. kept it real about the Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois matchup. He gave Joshua his props, saying AJ had the edge with experience, skill, and boxing IQ. In Eubank's eyes, Joshua held the cards in almost every department. From what he had seen, Joshua was the more seasoned fighter who had been through it all, and he should handle Dubois as long as everything went according to plan. Chris respected how Joshua had matured in the ring, sharpening his game through tough fights and staying mentally strong. Chris added, "The exciting thing about heavyweight boxing is that one punch can change it all. One punch can end it all. If you hit on the chin, you're going to go down." Meanwhile, former professional boxer Paulie Malignaggi noted that both Dubois and Joshua had faced some losses but had been grinding to bounce back. He saw this fight as the perfect opportunity for them to redeem themselves and regain their swagger.
Guys have had to go through that negativity where almost like their self-esteem, their self-confidence, their self-worth was sort of mentally challenged. You could see the way Joshua came back for a lot of fights, even some wins. He didn't look like the same Joshua for a while, you know? But come into play now. That's why fights have to happen, not just that they have to happen, but they have to happen at the right time. This is why I'm so adamant about boxing doing this, where it's not just guys not fighting, it's also guys, by the time they fight, they're not fighting at the right time. Where in this situation, there wasn't a big clamoring about Joshua Dubois, but the fact that this fight's happening right now, when they're both in this ascendancy, especially after having come back from negative spells, I feel like they're going to have double the confidence.
Paulie Malignaggi said both fighters were fired up after bouncing back and pushing their limits. There had been some talk about Joshua getting hurt and taking a loss in sparring against Dubois, but Malignaggi noted that Joshua had leveled up since then. Additionally, former professional boxer Tony Bellew chimed in, stating that Joshua had an 80% chance to beat Dubois. He was simply quicker, stronger, and hit way harder.
No, that's being unfair. 80-20, no. 80-20 in Anthony Joshua's favour. And the reason I say that, I don't just say that because I know Josh. I think Daniel's a brilliant fighter. He proved me completely wrong against Filip Hrgović. I thought he was phenomenal. But let's just weigh it up and what each fight is good at.
Boxing trainer Mark Tibbs said the more he thought about the fight, the more he saw it as a 50-50 matchup. He pointed out that AJ's experience gave him the edge, but he also couldn't ignore how much Dubois had leveled up. He mentioned that both of them had some holes in their defense, but he was sure it was going to be a hell of a fight.
Smashing fight, a terrific fight. The more and more I think about it, and the more and more I make it a 50-50. AJ obviously got the wealth of experience and double world champion and been everywhere, Olympic gold medalist, etc. So obviously he's the favourite. But Daniel's certainly got weapons of mass destruction, and he's got to land them first, fast and hard though. So defence is a little leaky on both of them and vulnerable, but it's going to be a great fight. Can't wait for that.
Pro boxer Jerry Forrest thought Joshua could take out anyone. He said Joshua was always hungry to learn, staying humble and always grinding to get better, even with all the belts he already had. Forrest was confident that if Joshua kept that same energy, he'd come out on top.
I got my money on Joshua versus anybody. Besides myself, I believe Joshua can beat anybody. He's the truth. He wants, so he's a humble guy that actually wants to get better in the sport. So if he keeps progressing, man, this guy may be around till he's 40 years old.
Boxing manager Frank Warren anticipated that the fight might turn out to be either a high-intensity shootout or a more cautious battle. Given that both Joshua and Dubois were in top form, he believed the fight could have ended swiftly because of their aggressive and powerful fighting styles.
Yeah, because of what they carry in their fists, especially big punchers. They're both massive punchers, and let's get it right. Neither of us want to see our guy take the first big punch. Neither of us want to do that, because I think that's going to be the telling moment in the fight. But it's going to happen. It's not going to go the distance, because these styles of these guys will not allow that to happen. They're not that type of fighters. They're very when they've got a guy in trouble, they're both good finishers.
Frank Warren explained how Dubois was in a tough spot after facing Usyk, where it seemed like he might be down and out. But then came his bout with Big Baby Miller, which turned everything around. Warren gave credit to Dubois' dad, who really stepped up, got him back on track, and became a crucial part of his preparation for the upcoming fight. With his father in his corner, Dubois was ready to roll, and that gave him a significant boost. Warren added, "This is going to be a classic heavyweight showdown. Both of these guys are going to go for it. It's going to be a great fight, one of those epic clashes." Pro boxer Otto Wallen, who had last gone toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua, thought Daniel Dubois was in for a tough ride. Wallen said if Dubois came out swinging like he did against Filip Hrgović, he might find himself in some deep water. But he also pointed out that if Dubois played it smarter and tightened up his defense, his chances in the fight could go way up.
I think that if Dubois comes out like he did in his last fight, got hit with a lot of shots from Hrgović. If he does the same with Joshua, I think it's going to be an early night. I think that Joshua is going to win within the first 5 or 6 rounds, if that happens. But if Dubois comes out with a little better defense and can hit Joshua with a few good shots, maybe make him doubt himself, then I think it could turn into a good fight. But it all depends. If we all seen Joshua's power with Ngannou, so if he hits Dubois with those kind of shots and keeps hitting him, then it's going to be an early night. But I think that Dubois is a good fighter, so If he can come out and land a few shots himself, then it could turn into a good fight.
Boxing trainer Shane McGuigan believed Daniel had the power to knock out any heavyweight in the game at that time. He stressed that Daniel's speed and balance could be the key. Shalom said he was a huge fan of Anthony Joshua, calling him a top-tier athlete and feeling really confident about the fight. He admitted that Dubois had stepped up his game in the last year, but still thought Joshua would be too much for him to handle.
I think Anthony Joshua, I'm a massive fan of him, I have to say. Always have been. So great to see him back, great to see him looking so confident. Daniel's had a great 12 months, but for me, Anthony should be far too much. I really believe he's an elite heavyweight.
Similarly, Anthony Joshua announced that he was all set to take on Daniel Dubois, planning to use his ring IQ to outmaneuver him and dance around his opponent.
Dance, let's go.
I'll ask you questions after your fight.
Yes, we can have a good conversation.
Have you got anything else you'd like to add?
Nah, look, you've been with me from the jump. I respect you. Appreciate your media work. Yeah, bro, don't let none of these newcomers shit on you, do you know what I'm saying? Make sure you stand 10 toes on your shit, bro. Don't let none of them disrespect you, yeah? Don't let none of them disrespect you. That's what I'm telling you, bro. Make sure
about fighting terms, you're talking about just YouTube world,
bro. YouTube world. Don't let no one disrespect you. Handle your business.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Shout out Andy Bell as well. Thank you. Best of luck on Saturday, mate.
Moreover, former boxer Lennox Lewis said Joshua was facing a real power hitter in Dubois. He emphasized that Joshua needed to come out swinging and keep the pressure on, no backing off, just straight up domination to handle Dubois' heavy hands.
This is the first time that we've seen Anthony Joshua in with, I think it's fair to say, a legitimate puncher in the heavyweight division for quite a number of years, Lennox. How does that change the dimensions this weekend, Anthony Joshua going in with someone in Daniel Dubois who can really punch?
Yeah, Anthony Joshua's been hungry, starving for this type of competition for a while, and he's finally got it. So I think he welcomes it. I think he's looking for an opportunity to display his talents against a legitimate fighter.
Lennox Lewis discussed how Daniel Dubois was coming into the fight with Anthony Joshua on a high, thanks to some solid recent wins. After a tough loss to Usyk, Dubois bounced back strong against Miller and Hrgović. Lewis highlighted that momentum is crucial in boxing, especially in the heavyweight division. Dubois, ranked second in Britain, is eager to prove he deserves the top spot. He needs to channel that hunger, fight like he's got everything to gain, and use his recent form to knock out Joshua and cement his place as a top contender. Lewis added, Anthony Joshua's grown as a boxer. He's been through the trials and tribulations. So right now I see a very positive, focused Anthony Joshua. Him having Ben Davis in his corner as well is good for him, because Ben's all about the mental, and it's all about what he can take from Ben if he can take the knowledge that Ben comes with and put that into the ring. Anthony Crolla was blown away by Daniel Dubois' power, but thought he'd come up short against Anthony Joshua in their upcoming bout. The former lightweight champ talked about the fight and gave Joshua the edge, confident he'd come out on top. It's such an intriguing fight. My worry for Dubois is that AJ has a fantastic right hand, and although Daniel takes a good shot, it's another matter taking that right off Joshua in small gloves. He further explained, I do not rule out Dubois though. If he's still there after 4 rounds, then it could become his type of fight, and it's a real toss-up as to who has the heavier hands. I can't decide whether this fight will be over early or AJ catches up with Dubois late in the fight. It's not a foregone conclusion by any means, but I'm going with AJ to win by stoppage. In addition, professional boxer Arslanbek Makhmudov didn't hold back, stating that Joshua had way more fight game than Dubois. He believed Joshua's experience, skill, and ring IQ were on a whole different level. Makhmudov thought Joshua had the edge because he had faced tougher battles and knew how to handle the big moments better.
About Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois, big fight coming up. Who do you think wins that one?
Oh, I think Joshua have more experience. This guy showed very good fight, last fight, Dubois.
Moreover, pro boxer Michael Hunter was betting on Joshua to knock out Daniel Dubois. He had noticed that AJ was hitting harder and fighting smarter lately, so he was confident that Joshua had the power and precision to finish the fight early.
He really tries to get better, and you got to respect somebody like that. So I think Daniel Dubois also is a great fighter. He comes from a fighting, family. He got his sisters and his brothers and all that. So I think he's gonna put in good efforts. But I think Anthony Joshua's gonna get this one.
Carl Frampton believed the fight was going to be intense, predicting that someone would likely get knocked out. While he acknowledged that AJ was the favorite, he mentioned that he wouldn't be surprised if Dubois managed to pull off the upset.
Coming through the adversity that he came through in his last 2 fights probably gives him more of a chance. I think that certainly AJ's the favourite. They're heavyweights and Dubois is brave, and what I can guarantee is someone gets knocked out, and I think someone probably gets knocked out in the first 6 rounds. If I'm being honest, you have to favour AJ, but wouldn't surprise me if Dubois does it. Just they're big men, big athletic men.
In addition, Prince Nassim Hamed shared his insights about the upcoming bout, offering his thoughts on the fighter's strengths and strategies.
AJ Dubois prediction now is who wins?
The AJ, you know what? I think AJ wins, to be honest, by KO.
Professional kickboxer Dean White wasn't too sure Dubois could pull off a win against Joshua, but he was genuinely impressed by Dubois' fire and determination.
I don't know, man. I think he needs to hold the centre a bit, be a bit more the big man. Don't let the smaller man push you back, and try and big man him and see. But I don't know, it's easier said than done. That's one hell of a fighter, that guy there. And he showed it time and time again, Usyk. So, I don't know, man. I really wish and hope he does it.
Dean White broke down the careers of Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois, giving credit to how they had managed their public image and faced challenges. He was particularly impressed with Dubois for bouncing back strong after losing to Joe Joyce, demonstrating real grit and toughness. Dean admitted he had been skeptical, but Dubois kept proving him wrong by winning fights he had bet against. Dubois' streak of wins silenced the haters and showed he had what it took to come through when it really counted. Boxing promoter Barry Hearn said Joshua was in the best shape of his life and that he had never seen him more fired up and dedicated.
Well, obviously I'm a big Joshua fan. You know, he's been with us since he won his gold medal in the Olympics. He's a part of the family, really, so our belief in Anthony knows no bounds. I think he's in the form of his life. I've never seen him so committed, but
Barry Hearn acknowledged that Joshua faced risks going into the fight with Dubois. He was confident that Joshua was in top shape, but he was also aware that Dubois was no joke and had the power to change the fight with one shot. Hearn believed Joshua would win, likely by knockout, but he warned fans to keep their eyes peeled, as this fight could be wild and end quickly. Meanwhile, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn highlights that both Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois were in peak form and showing impressive improvements. He anticipated a fiercely competitive fight, stressing that Joshua needed to be strategic against Dubois' aggressive style.
In the form of his life, Ben Davison and Lee Wiley. This is not tactically a tough fight for Anthony Joshua. It's just a very dangerous fight. You know, unpicking the flaws of Daniel Dubois and setting traps against him is not going to be the problem. It's going to be what's coming back, and it's about being smart and being like a sniper in there and taking this guy out, because Dubois is very active. He's got great volume to his work. And I was saying to Frank, it's going to be really interesting to see how they both come out, because I don't know if Dubois can control his emotions in there on Saturday. And if he doesn't, he'll come out like he did against Hrgovic. And if he does, one way or the other, this will be over inside 3 rounds. And it could just be an almighty shootout. Or they could be a little bit more cautious. They're definitely going to be conscious of each other's power.
Eddie Hearn gave major respect to Daniel Dubois, stating that he had earned his stripes in the boxing world. Even with past setbacks, Dubois had bounced back strong and was now a serious contender. Hearn was excited about the fight, noting that both Joshua and Dubois were in peak form. He had high expectations for the matchup, emphasizing that both fighters looked sharp and dangerous. He stressed that Joshua needed to be smart and strategic, especially since Dubois was known for his aggressive and active style. It was clear that this fight would be a high-stakes, no-holds-barred showdown, with both fighters bringing their best to the ring. Hearn added, "This is one of the best cards I think we've ever seen. There's some brilliant 50-50 matchups, a tremendous World Heavyweight Championship fight between 2 very dangerous Brits. What's your take on this week's showdown? Did Anthony Joshua establish his dominance, or was Daniel Dubois too strong? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this."